This is Justin with Project SLC here with Zach and Pat from Rogue Wave. Thank you guys so much for sitting down with us today.
How could we pass
this
it
couch?
up? I mean, look at this couch.
And so where were you guys last night? Where are you going? You know, and when do you guys finally get to go home?
Very interesting story about yesterday. Very, very interesting story.
We got here at about 4 a.m. last 3 or 4 a.m. last night.
I was in the covers 4 o'clock.
Yeah, we had some vehicular trouble yesterday, so it took us a while to get here. And tonight is our first night of the tour.
Oh, so you guys were on your way here.
On our way here from the Bay Area. Yeah, so it's our first night tonight.
Yeah. We didn't downshift coming down a mountain, and
warped our rotors.
The rotors. Luckily, there was a mechanic right there.
That's probably why he stationed himself there.
That's what we think. I think he's got a good business.
He was totally like that mechanic in a vacation.
Yeah, how much
you must have manure for brains, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, as the words are coming out of my mouth, he's like, "I know what the problem is. No need to continue. I see what you got there. Shall we grind your rotors now, or do you want me to take the time to actually inspect them?" Yeah, for you.
All right, thanks.
And so you guys just released this month Nightingale Floors. It's kind of talk about the writing process of that. It's your newest album in almost 3 years, right?
Yeah.
A little bit more than that. So what was the writing process, and what has kind of changed from before until now?
I don't think the process of writing has changed really. I think we spent quite a bit of time working the songs out, but I think it's more the recording process was different this time. I think we tried to have it be more of a loose type of environment for tracking and not overdoing it and not trying to sculpt things. It was just, we played a lot of the drums, bass, guitar live, just together in a room like people play music, and so we wanted to make this record actually sound like the way we sound when we play together. So to have those dynamics occur naturally instead of editing them digitally.
We did spend quite a bit of time in pre-production, meaning we recorded demos, and we have a little studio, and so we just went to town just putting all kinds of demos together. I mean, all kinds of instrumentation, and then that ended up helping us in the end because we took elements from the demos, put them into the songs, but it was nice for us to kind of like figure out the songs, at least what we thought we wanted, and then forgetting about them for a while. Going into the studio, John Congleton, producer extraordinaire, and we were just so cozy and comfortable with him, and in a great little spot in upstate, about an hour and a half north of us in Cotati, California. Great little studio, out in some farmland. We felt secluded, and so we had this nice, like, just kind of relaxed atmosphere. Happy times.
Yeah. So how difficult was it having all of those demos to have to single it down to the ones that stayed on the record?
Exactly. That's tough.
John, who he's talking about, we did the record with, we kind of sent him stuff, and he said what he liked, and then we said what we liked, and then wrote it down on a board in the studio, and then we just kind of did, okay, what do you want to do first? And we basically just kept recording and you kind of prioritize based on how you're feeling. I mean, we just sort of started gravitating towards certain songs. And
there were a handful of songs we knew were going on, but the lead-off track, what song we thought was going to be the first track, didn't even make it on the record. So the whole time we're demoing, we thought this is the song that's going to lead the record off, and that's not even on the record.
Yeah, well, but we tend to record more than we put on records. That's kind of we like to be able to do that, and I'd like to actually continue releasing things, and recording and releasing things continually. The way music is changing, so people are listening differently, and I almost pick up a CD or I'm like, what is this thing? It's like,
it's a mirror.
Yeah, it feels antiquated to me, and we can, I can send things to people instantly on our social networking, and since you can do that, it seems like, well, maybe there are ways for us to release things beyond our records in a way that's kind of fun and allows us to stay connected to people that want to hear what we're doing.
Don't want the minute-to-minute updates of Rogue Wave.
Yeah, I am having my lunch.
We just like to record. When we're not playing or for getting ready for a tour, we like to be in there recording, covers, just doing things just for the fun of it. Sometimes for not the fun of it, but it still ends up being fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually saw you guys at Usana Amphitheater about 3 years ago.
Yeah, about four years ago.
Yeah.
2009 was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2009, 2010.
How was that for you?
Really, really good.
Yeah, we were better than the headliner, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys had
Can't
this
remember
huge road wave sign behind you guys.
Yeah.
It was like lighting up.
They were nice enough to let us use their LED screens that are just absolutely amazing, and they don't put off any heat.
Low power.
No power.
That's the way it goes.
Saving the environment.
Some heat.
So where did you guys respectively start playing music? What age did you pick up an instrument? And then when was that time in your life that you really connected?
I started playing the old cliche drummer thing, pots and pans, literally pots and pans and Quaker Oats boxes, and I just think, man, because every kid is this, every kid is a drummer, because every kid gets percussion and stuff, right? You know.
Well, you can go like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm a drummer.
See, but I got a drum set in high school. When I came home, my parents had it set up in our downstairs like family room, and I walked in and there was this drum set, and so that was it from then on. But I met a friend of mine when I was in high school, got me started in my love of like British power pop, like post-punk, punk rock bands from the 70s and 80s. And so that just set me on a path. That was it. I was basically a junior in high school. I pretty much couldn't. I did all the things. I went to college, I graduated, did all the things, but music was always there, pulling my attention away from everything else. So, but my first, drum set, probably 1980. Yeah, early 80s.
2000.
19.
What about you, Zach?
I think I was in 5th grade or 6th grade, something like that. Then I had seen this band play in this brewery with my dad, and it was amazing. They played Another One Bites the Dust by Queen. They played I Shall Be Released by the band.
Did you know that they were covers, or did you go, these guys?
I think I knew because I probably asked. I said, but I was so inspired, and they were probably just some cover band, I don't know, but those songs hit me so hard. And it wasn't just, we listened to music in my house all the time when I was a kid, but hearing it live and seeing them play and seeing the way they interacted, the bands, how the band looked at each other and the dynamics of live music and all that, and I was completely floored. And so I got a guitar, and I bought it from Tom Fogarty's son in some used guitar shop in El Cerrito. It was a Fender Mustang, American. Still have it.
Wow.
And I started taking lessons and trying to learn how to play.
Didn't stick with it.
Yeah, and then I bought a Beatles chord book and I started taking some lessons, which I found kind of boring because it was like scales and it didn't mean anything to me. Then I got the Beatles chord book and I started playing, and then I got connected with this other guy who taught guitar solos. And I had to take the minibus in the city, San Francisco, to meet him, and he'd teach me, like, this is a Jimi Hendrix solo, and this is Jimmy Page solo, and this is, Edgar Winter or whatever, and I'd learn little noodly things. And
that seems really useful. Learn the chords from the Beatles book and learn the solos.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then we recorded onto cassette, and I could take it home with me and review it and listen to it, and that gave me some context. Same thing, I think it's the same thing with learning languages.
Mm-hmm.
It was really hard for me to learn languages when I'd studied in the school just through abstraction, conjugating verbs and whatnot. But when I got into conversational stuff, then I was like, oh, that makes more sense to me, and I'm that kind of a person. I need context. So then I started playing all the time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you guys would like to say, or anybody you would like to thank?
First concert I ever saw was the Oak Ridge Boys.
You want to thank them?
I want to thank them for making Elvira, because if it wasn't for the bass man, when he would do that his Bapa Bapa Mama, I just loved that. And that was part of my rhythm section. And I got inspired.
That's awesome.
No, thank you. I like what you guys are doing, and I think it is important to try and raise as much money as we can to for liberal arts education and creative thought, and putting money into music and art, and that kind of creative thinking leads to more fruitful, complex thinking, and we're all going to be better off if we fund that stuff well and, help the next generation.
Let me ask you this: did you have arts and music in school?
Yeah.
Grade school, grade school, junior high, high school.
Actually, I did. In fact, I told I just told my mom this, but when I was a kid, the elementary school was down the street from the middle school, and we didn't have an orchestra at our elementary school. So when I was in 5th grade, we wanted to use the orchestra at the middle school. So we would. This is how times have changed. We would get into the back of our music teacher's El Camino, and we'd lay flat, and then we'd put the cover on it and drive us down the street to the orchestra, and we'd get out, and then I was playing drums.
That's awesome.
I wasn't playing guitar yet, but then we'd play the drums, and I'd be like, this is a timpani move.
Yeah. It's so cool. When I was every school I ever went to, which was a lot, but by the time I hit high school, the band department was huge. Had everything you could ever want there, and we, had that band class and marching band, the whole thing. Like I was spent all year in some form of school band, from freshman on, and it really is sad to think that that's not available.
Yeah.
Art, painting, all that stuff that just kind of like relaxes your mind from all the math and whatever else. Some people like that, and it's relaxing to them. No offense, but
yeah. Well, so anyway, good job to you, and I hope you guys raise lots of money.
Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down with us.
thank you.
Once again, this has been Zach and Pat with Rogue Wave, here with Justin from Project SLC. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Hey.
Hey,
No,
thank you. Hey,
Thank
thank
you.
everybody. Thank you back there too.